What's going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another player prop talk live stream here on the channel. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. Hope your Taco Tuesday treated you right. Hope your slips were profitable. Hope you had a good day. Hope you're having a good day today. Hope you're having a good morning. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like button on your way in. I'm gonna get this started so that way we can cover as many props as we can. Hashtag blessed, as we always start off the stream. Yeah, a lot of people die every single day in their sleep. A lot. If you're hearing this and seeing this, you did not die in your sleep, so you can consider yourself blessed. It's a pretty good start to your day, waking up, being alive. So could be a lot worse. Yeah, could be a lot worse. Hashtag blessed. Yeah, let's go. Let's move on. No NBA today, so a little light on player props. A little light on the player props today. A lot of MLB, I'm assuming, WNBA, and some esports, some golf props in there. Whatever else we can find to complete our slips. But yeah, no NBA. Good news is we do have NBA for at least one other day tomorrow, as the Minnesota Timberwolves avoided a sweep. So we get an extra game at least. If they can keep this going, then we should see a couple more games. However, we know we do have at least one NBA game left in the Western Conference Finals. So today, attitude is super important. You get to choose it every single day. I always, well, not always, but lately I've been using this slide as part of the live as a reminder to not let other things influence your attitude, or choose the attitude for you. So choose your own attitude and proceed accordingly. That's really it. What's going on, Big T? Icy, good morning, JR. What is going on? We're gonna have to talk about some other sports today. T said he had to sleep in yesterday. I slept in yesterday. I don't know what sleeping is to a lot of people, but usually for me, sleeping in is like 6:30. I get up really early most days, between 5-ish, 5:30 is like standard to me. I really want to push it, I'm up before 4:30, but sometimes there's just not enough shit to do in the morning. At least for me, there's not. So yeah, I slept in yesterday a little bit. WNBA, MLB, let's smack some shit. Smack my bitch up. Yeah, let's do it. All right. Talking about BETR along with PrizePicks or Underdog or wherever else you play. If you have not yet signed up for BETR, you can do so right now by scanning that QR code on the screen. That is my QR code. I do get a little something from this, but you also get a little something from this. You get a little deposit match up to $250 on BETR. And since we have one extra NBA game at least, we should get another Luka promo tomorrow. They have been running a Luka promo every day or every game this Western Conference Finals. 0.5 Luka promo. I shared my Luka promo slip in the Discord yesterday. That hit. Took the over on that one, and took the over on, I believe it was Anthony Edwards' fantasy score. That worked out for us. So yeah, BETR's a great addition to your Pick'em site. I don't know, inventory, your Pick'em site stable. Yeah, add as many as you can. Don't be stupid and reckless, but add as many as you can, because on days like this, especially when there's just not a lot of value on the board or we're limited, it's nice to have a few extra pick'em sites where you can leverage those lines. All right, let's get into our plays for today. May 29th, 2024, Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. We talk prize picks, underdog, jock market, better, sleeper, hot streak. Wherever you happen to play, we can dig into player props, regardless of the pick'em site, because we'll use props.cash to help us break everything down. If you are new to props.cash, there's my promo code on the screen. Also in the video description, stream description, I should say. Thanks25 is the promo code. Get 25% off your first month on props.cash. If you've never seen props.cash used in real time before, then you are in for a treat, because we use it here in real time on the stream. So if after watching it being used, you like it, then you can sign up for it and you can get 25% off your first month. If you don't like it, then don't worry about it. Very easy. Very easy to make decisions. Doesn't need to be complicated. You either like it or you don't like it. You either get the discount or you don't get the discount. It's not super complicated. We're going to head over to the PrizePicks dashboard as we start our research now. We use the PrizePicks dashboard for a few reasons. Number one, it just looks better. It's easier to navigate, especially for a stream. And I think everybody's very familiar with PrizePicks, so it's just easier to just start on PrizePicks. But again, no matter where you play, we'll use props.cash to break down the player prop, inclusive of fantasy scores. So if you have a fantasy score you want to look at, we can use the numbers on props.cash to help break them down. Still got our Dustin Poirier. I don't know if this was a taco yesterday or if it was just a promo, but it did get released yesterday. So you have until Saturday. You have 80 hours to make a decision on this one. You can go a bunch of different ways with this one. You can just put 25 on this one play with another play and go 3x if you hit it. You can put this in a flex for 25 bucks. You can mix and match, put 10 on a few different slips. I already put 10 on this one on one slip this morning, and I'm just gonna wait and see as the value opens up tomorrow and Friday. I'm gonna wait and see what's on the board and just try to build out as many positive slips as I possibly can. But this one is a pretty good one to take the over on. In fact, you can't take the under on it because PrizePicks not letting you. Doesn't even make sense to take the under on this one. Just go find his significant strike prop down here and take the under on this versus take the under on that. It wouldn't make any sense. So don't forget about this Dustin Poirier. You can use this today if you want to. You do have to wait until Saturday. So if you put this in a slip today and your slip pretty much hits, you got to wait this one out. So if you don't want to wait, then, you know, maybe you're waiting till Saturday to use this, but I would recommend using this throughout the week because you don't want to wait until Saturday and then force a slip and then it be a bad slip. What's good, Links? Good morning to you. All right. I saw, I don't know if PrizePicks was supposed to do this or not, but the hot dogs, the glizzies got released and they got taken off the board. And what I was trying to do is remember who they were, because I was going to go and take the unders on their pitching strikeout prop. Jones, Skubal, Braxton Garrett was another one that I saw. Bailey Ober was another one that I saw. These were all like 2 strikeouts, 2.5 strikeouts, and then they got just wiped away. So I don't know if that's what's going to be on the board later today, or even if they're going to run these hot dog promos. But these have already dropped. I know that Skubal's strikeout prop was 7.5. Jones was 6.5. These have been bumped down. So I'm not as interested as taking the unders on these as I was initially. But we'll wait and see what PrizePicks does for today. Tacos did pretty well yesterday. Hamby did all right. And who was the other one? the hockey NHL one. That guy did it. He did all right. So two tacos yesterday were good. Was there a third taco? I don't remember there being a third taco, unless that Poirier was part of the promo yesterday. AOD. We're all DGens united as one. We are. Hit that like button on your way in. Let's unite even further by hitting that like button on your way in. A couple of player props that were standing out to me this morning. I don't know if they're still on the board. Nerfies got taken off, unfortunately. Hey, our Pete Alonso hitter fantasy score yesterday went over. We talked about that on the stream. His matchup wasn't the best, but he did finish with 6 hitter fantasy points, and that's all you need. So he went over. We talked about a few different plays on the stream yesterday, but that was the one that we opened up with. And I know it didn't look good when we were breaking it down because of his BVP, but he came through for us. So if you play the over on Pete Alonso's hitter fantasy score, then that one did work out for you all damn day. I like the Milwaukee Chicago under no run first inning prop. That one got taken down, unfortunately. Looking at my pick'em sheet right now in the Discord. See if we can pull up a couple, see if they're still on the board. David Fry. David Fry had a total base prop of 1.5, and then they took it down. So that was around 7, little before 7 a.m. And that's pretty typical of PrizePicks. If you're not on top of these props, they'll get moved. Ryan Nelson had a 3.5 strikeout prop. It's been bumped up to 4. We could take a look at it at 4, but at 3.5, that's a really good line. Simeon had a strikeout prop, hitter strikeout. So look, Simeon had a hitter strikeout prop today of 0.5. They've gone ahead and put a goblin on it. And went ahead and put a goblin on it. So if you do play it, then you're going to have to take a payout decrease. So that one is not playable for me. I don't want to play anything that's going to take my money away. Man, it's unfortunate. A lot of these plays get removed or get bumped. So by the time we do a live stream, you're not seeing the same value. Those of you who get up early in the morning and do research know exactly what I'm talking about. Gunnar Henderson, total base prop. That one's still on the board. And let's see if Chris Bryant. Okay. So these are a couple of other plays that I was looking at for the under total base props. Oh, there was a CS2 talk. I missed that one. Okay. Did it hit? Does anybody know if it hit? I like this so far. Links is sharing his plays. Shota Imanaga fantasy 4Ks. James Paxton under 4Ks. Lugo fantasy score. And Luis Heel fantasy score. You like the overs on these? Are these PrizePicks? I don't even know who Seth Lugo is. this season. Who the fuck is this guy? When he was in San Diego, he was not producing like this. I don't know if he had an injury or if he just likes it better in Kansas City. I have no idea, but he was not this guy in San Diego. He was like third in rotation. He wasn't the ace. I don't even think he was the second pitcher in rotation. Maybe he's like the third pitcher in rotation, maybe fourth. He's pitching like an ace this season. I don't know if anybody saw this coming, but Seth Lugo continues to crush. The books continue to take the under on all his props. If you look closely at his hits, or excuse me, if you look closely at his strikeouts, they're always juiced to the under. I guess the books are just expecting a come back down to earth moment, but at some point he will have a bad game. But maybe he's just a better pitcher this season. Maybe that's, you can't you can't hate on that. So 32.5 pitcher fantasy score for Lugo. 32.5 is a little low. We can, damn, Luis Heel has a 38.5 pitcher fantasy score. Holy crap. PrizePicks. All right. What's going on to LA? Good morning to you. Where the locks at? All right, so let's break these down. We got an all baseball slip here. I'm down with it. We'll take a look at Ryan Nelson, 4 strikeouts. That one got bumped up from 3.5 to 4. A couple unders on these total base props for Gunnar Henderson and Chris Bryant. And then we'll take a look at some numbers for Lugo and Heel for the over on their fantasy score. Hit the like button on your way in if you haven't done so. We're getting ready to break down our first round of player props over on props.cash. I'm assuming that most of you watching, at least most of you in the chat, know what props.cash is. But if you're new and you're new to the stream, new to the channel, you've never seen props.cash before, or you may be using something else and you just don't know what props.cash looks like, this is what it is. This is what it is. So we are going to use props.cash to take a look at a couple of pitcher fantasy scores. And we are going to start off in show the strikeouts. I know that was one of the plays. It was fantasy score show the strikeouts. So strikeouts at 6.5. He's gone 5 straight, going over 7 or more. Projected for just 6.4. Matchup today with Milwaukee. They are swinging and whiffing at the 7th highest rate versus lefties this season. So that one shapes out pretty well. Coming into this game, he's a 1 strikeout per inning guy. He is projected to give us 6 innings at -176, possibly 7 innings, but maybe 6 1/3, 6 2/3, something like that. So that would be roughly 7 strikeouts right there if you're just going by the inning per strikeout. In terms of his strikeouts, you have BetMGM that likes the over, DraftKings, Caesars, FanDuel. No, excuse me. Caesars does not like the over. They are on board with the under, but look at the juice to the over. So it's not like a slam dunk under. It's kind of almost a toss-up at that point. It's only separated by 12. FanDuel likes the over, and then Pinnacle. Out of all the sports books, when I look at lines, I always look for Pinnacle first. If a prop has a Pinnacle line, then it automatically stands out to me. It's not whatever Pinnacle says I go with, but it does make me feel better if I'm already on an over and Pinnacle also likes the over. And same thing for an under. Pinnacle's smart. So Pinnacle likes it at -136 to the over. Yeah, that one's strong. the strikeouts. All right, let's take a look at this Seth Lugo. We're going to try to build out a fantasy score here. We're going to take a very conservative approach. We'll look at his strikeouts, we'll look at his innings pitched or his outs, and then we'll look at earned runs, and then we'll kind of factor in some quality start win bonuses if needed. So strikeouts today, 5.5, favorite to go over, -120 to the over. Pinnacle likes the over. DraftKings likes the over. BetMGM likes the over. Caesars likes the over. FanDuel likes the over. So right there, let's just start off at 6 strikeouts since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books like the over. That's 18 points. We'll go ahead and deduct his earned runs. Projected to give up maybe 2. Maybe 2. -145 to the under on that one. So it's impossible to give up 1.4 earned runs or something like that. So you're going to have to either land on 2 or 1. There's no other option. So let's say he gives up 2 earned runs, something he has done in 1, 3, 4 previous starts. So 18 minus 6 is 12. Projected to not go 19 outs at -204 to the under. But let's say he does give you 18. Or let's say 17 outs, which is basically 5 2/3 innings. Seems a little low because he's gone 18 or more in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. But based off this, they're expecting a shorter outing. All right, so we got 17 plus the 12. That's 29. Now, right then and there, he does not have enough points to go over. But if he gives up 3 earned runs or fewer, and he does go, well, he needs to go 6 innings to get the quality start bonus. So if he doesn't go 6 innings, he won't get the quality start bonus, which is worth 4 points. So you kind of need him to go 18 outs. 18 outs gets you the quality start bonus. So even if he doesn't get the quality start bonus, if he keeps the earned runs down, and if the Royals can put runs on the board, then he should get the win bonus, and that gives you 35 fantasy points. So if Seth Lugo goes 6 or more innings, he honestly should get the over on fantasy points. And we just took a very conservative approach to his fantasy points. So if you want to say he's going to go out and get 7 strikeouts, now you're looking at a higher ceiling. But I think a low ceiling for him is in that 33 range, and then the high would be 39. Yeah, this is a little weird. This reminds me of yesterday with the Anthony Edwards assist prop. Everywhere you saw it was projected for the under. He had 9 assists, and he also had 29 points. It's like the books or whoever is assuming that a player can't do both. Well, he's going to go out and score a lot of points. So that means I expected a little bit of a drop off yesterday, like from 9 to 7 or something like that. He just did again, second game in a row at 9 assists. So it's hard to look at this and go, really, he's not going to give me 20 outs. He's not going to give me 18 outs or even 19 outs when he's done that in pretty much every game. What's the reason for the all of a sudden drop? Lugo is not able to go out there and give you 19 outs and 6 strikeouts. Why do I have to choose one or the other? So it's possible he does both. Just we see players do it all the time. But when you look at the lines, it does make you feel like you have to choose one. He's either going to get the outs and not the strikeouts, or get the strikeouts and not the outs. Lugo's at 8.85 strikeout per inning guy. All right. So they have him projected for 6 strikeouts. Based off this math, he has to go more than 6 innings to get that, right? Unless he has a great inning where he strikes out 3 batters in an inning, and that'll boost his average up a little bit. But based off this, he's not even striking out 1 guy per inning. So you know, what's it going to be today? Is he not going to do that, or is he going to go out there and strike out 8? So, but based off this 6 strikeouts, it should take him a little over 6 innings to get that, maybe 7 innings to get that. I like the over on fantasy. I think it's fine. Sometimes these odds don't make sense to me. I just want to pick them apart. Luis Gil over his fantasy score at 38.5, which is a lot higher than Lugo. He's projected for 10 strikeouts. I don't think I've ever seen a projection in the double figures for strikeouts. Probably not since last season. Maybe it was a Spencer Strider prop. But Luis Gil, coming off back-to-back games of 8+ strikeouts. So let's look at this. -130 tells me 7 strikeouts. If he was projected for 10, I mean, if this was legit, sometimes these projections can get a little inflated, but this would be -185 or something like that. And then if that's the case, then this shit wouldn't be 6.5. It'd be 7.5, 8. But 7 strikeouts. We'll start off there. That's 21 points. We minus his earned runs. He's projected to give up 2. So that is 15. He's projected to go 6 innings. So we got 15 points plus 18. That's 34. So Luis Gil already qualifies for the quality start bonus because he went 6 and allowed 3 or fewer runs. So that's another 4 points. And if he gets the win, if the Yankees put up more runs than the Angels, obviously you win. But Luis Gil will get the credit for that win as long as he doesn't give up more than 3 earned runs in his time on the mound. So that's another 10 total points. So we got 10 points from quality start and win. We got 21. That's 31. We're going 18. That's 40. Is that 49 points? 49 points minus 6. That's 43. So 43 fantasy points. It may seem a little high. It may seem a little high at 43, but it's because of the quality start and the win bonus. He could actually not get the quality start and still get the over on his fantasy points because of the win. But in order for him to not get that quality start, he'd have to pitch fewer than 6 innings, or he'd have to give up 4 earned runs. If he gives up 4 earned runs today, he's going to have to get you close to 10 strikeouts to make up for those extra runs. So because if he goes out there and strikes out 7, that's 21, and he gives up 4, that's 12, -12. That's only 9 points. 9 plus 18 is 27. He's not getting the quality start. 27 plus 6. If he gets the win, that's only 33. So yeah, if he gives up 4+ earned runs, you're screwed on this one. Doesn't matter about the win bonus or nothing at that point, because he's not going to get the over unless he goes out and strikes out 10. If he gets you 10 strikeouts like this projection is telling you, that's 30 points. That's 48. 48 points right there. He can give up 4 earned runs. That's 36. And get the win. That's 43. So there are a bunch of different ways this can play out, but ideally what you're hoping for is to keep the runs under 3, strikeouts over 7, and he needs to go out there and pitch into the 6th inning. 18 or more outs will get you the over on that. In fact, you need 18 or more to qualify for the quality start. I like breaking down pitcher fantasy scores. Those are fun. All right. Gunnar Henderson under his total bases. I have been playing this when it's available, and more times than not, it does work out. There are games where it doesn't, just like every other play. But we'll look at this together. So -133 city under, BetMGM, DraftKings. like it with no juice to the over. Caesars 133 and Pinnacle 129. Slight juice, like 103 is not that much. So 4 books unanimously like the under on this one. Got you 2 total bases yesterday. That'll do it. He is projected for a hit. That hit looks like it will be a single, maybe. He's projected for 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. Should be 3 hits, runs, and RBIs based off these numbers. A run, an RBI, and he's going to get you a hit. That's 3. I don't know why that's projected at 2. So it's very possible that Gunnar Henderson can go over fantasy score, assuming his fantasy score is not like 9. If his fantasy score is 7.5, no, because a hit is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, never mind. His fantasy score would need to be 6.5. But we're just looking at total bases. So he either needs 2 hits or he needs a double. He is not projected to get one. Based off these numbers, he's not even projected to get you a single, which is kind of weird. So odds have him going hitless in this one, but this number says he gets you a hit. So when you look at this on the individual level, it's a little confusing because they're contradicting. His numbers against Cutter Crawford in 2 games, I'm assuming 6 plate appearances is over 2 games. He should get at least 3 at-bats in those games. 0 for 6 against Crawford. In those games, he has a 16.7% strikeout rate, and he has a 16.7% walk rate. So if Gunnar Henderson draws a walk, I didn't scroll over enough. If Gunnar Henderson draws a walk, that's 2 points. If he scores a run, that's 2, that's 4. If he gets an RBI, that's 6. And if he gets you a single, that's 9. So it is possible for him to go over fantasy points and not go over total bases. If he draws multiple walks, like if Cutter Crawford just says, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this dude, that's only going to help his fantasy score, but they'll walk the entirety of the game and you still go under on total bases. So Henderson's in play for total bases on the under. Chris Bryant. I hate targeting players in Colorado just because of the atmosphere there, but Chris Bryant is a player that is drawing a lot of juice to the under on multiple pick'em sites. In fact, BETR, Underdog, and PrizePicks like the under on his total bases. He is coming off a 4-base game. He did hit a home run yesterday, so if you feel like this is the start of a hot streak, then stay away from this one. Projected for 0.7 hits, and he's projected for 0.7 total bases, which is 1 single. In terms of fantasy outlook, that's 2, that's 5, that's about it. So 5 fantasy points. It could be more. Numbers against Logan Allen, none to look at right now. In fact, BVP for the Rockies, not anything going on here. Lefties on the year. Why isn't Chris Bryant in here? There he is. All right, so Chris Bryant versus lefties, batting 111, 26% K rate. So lefties have given him problems this season. 19 plate appearances. He doesn't have a double. He doesn't have an extra base hit. He does have 2 singles against lefties. So it does make a little sense why the under is so heavy for him versus the lefty. And on the other side, Logan Allen's done a pretty strong job at suppressing average and overall production versus right-handed or versus against left-handed batters. But Chris Bryant's a righty, so against righties he does have a 300 batting average. 200 plate appearances though. That's a lot of plate appearances so far. So you expect the numbers to be more, just more opportunity. Just because he gives up a little power to righties doesn't mean every single righty in the lineup goes after him, or even Chris Bryant has a good game. So just his numbers, Chris Bryant's numbers against lefties does support what we're seeing here. So liking the under on that one. Oh, fuck. Ryan Nelson over strikeouts. Let's look at that real quick, because even though that one got bumped up, if you still want to play the over at 4, at 3.5, you're getting minus 145 odds on the over. Back-to-back games of 4 or more strikeouts. He is only projected for 3. But at 3.5, you got three books that really like the over. Texas is doing a pretty good job of not whiffing at a high rate versus righties, only 19.6%. Just looking at some of the K rates in this lineup. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, he's a 0.82 strikeout per inning guy. In order for him to get 4 strikeouts, you would believe he needs to get into the 5th inning. He is not projected to go past 5 innings. So maybe 15 innings, like right there on the dot, like just 5 innings flat. So it's possible. At 3.5, that was looking strong for you. But at 4, he needs 5. So maybe not so much the over on 4 because of what we're seeing here. But if this one were to get bumped down to 3.5, then it goes back to being a play for the over. So I would honestly play less on that one and assume that he can just push that one, possibly go under, especially if the Texas Rangers get hot and hit him up a little bit. It's possible he stays under 4. Like the under on Henderson, like the under on Bryant. We like the over on Lugo and Luis Heel. So those are our first 5 player props we broke down today. What's going on, Vu? Good morning. I took Nelson under at 4.5K. Oh, nice. You got it at 4.5K. So after looking at that one, if you got the under on 4.5, that looks good. So the fact that it got bumped down to 3.5 shows you how many people were playing the under on that one. What's up, Travis? What did she what did you play? What did you play? Her points? Her rebounds? We're talking Caitlin Clark, right? All right, we'll go ahead and clear the screen. Hit that like button on your way in if you haven't done so yet. I don't know what I saw earlier today. I saw a lot of discounted pitcher props on the board, and then they got taken off. So I don't know if that is a sign of what's to come in terms of hot dog promos, but I'm still waiting on it. Usually for a promo, that sports tab will get moved to the front. So it'll be the first one. Like MMA is typically way back here, but because of the Dustin Poirier promo, MMA is now moved to the front. So whenever these baseball promos get dropped, I think the MLB tab will get shifted to the front. So it's first in sight. I think that's how we'll know right off the bat that it's been updated. But right now, there's no new additions to the board. Oh, you took. Oh, really? She stopped. She hooked you at 6 assists. Kevin Pillar for 1 total base. Pilar. Kevin Pillar. Oh, yeah, we can look that one up for sure. Kevin Pillar. What else? The Luka Edwards 3-point prop. Anybody play that yesterday? We talked about that. It was towards the end of the stream. We talked about that. We talked about Edwards and PJ Washington was the lowest one at 4.5. And then there was another one with Anthony Edwards, but the one with Luka definitely hit. I think they each had 3. I know Luka had 3 for sure. So if anybody played that one definitely worked out for you. All right. How about a couple of WNBA props? This one worked out for us last time we played it. I mean, not this particular combo, but anything with Kelsey Plum in it. Kelsey Plum, Kayla McBride, over 6 3-pointers made. Kelsey Plum had 7 3-pointers herself last game. We didn't take a combo prop with her. I think we just took the over on her threes. And I think her threes were like at 2.5. So now we're getting it at a combo. You also have this Ionescu Plum at 5.5, which is 1 less. So these two need 7. These two need 6. So depending on how you know, how high you are on Sabrina Ionescu going over her 3-point prop, you might like that one just because it's at a lower line. Cloud and Ionescu. So maybe instead of taking Ionescu threes, you can look at her assist. So I have a few WNBA props we can dig into along with the Kevin Pillar base prop. We can look into. Yeah, that Luka Edwards play was strong. Cutter Crawford for K's. It's so funny that Lynx. It's so funny that your spell check corrected Cutter to Litter. Litter Crawford for K's. Been bumped by 0.5. Yeah, I know what you meant. It's just stupid ass spell check. Jonquel Jones rebounds at 8 on PrizePicks. Let's pull up Jonquel. Let's see what we got. All right. Let's take a look at these. We got 5 plays on the board. Let's do it. Going back to props.cash, we'll pull up the WNBA tab and we'll look at these so for these combo, we can do the combo prop with Kayla McBride and Plum. They're in the same game, but then the Ionescu and Plum, they're in different games. So let's look at Kayla McBride's threes because combined they need 7. 6 gets you a push, but 7 gets you the over. Back-to-back games of 4+. If we just look at the last 5 games, because those are for sure this season, we don't have to filter anything out. She's averaging 3.6 threes in her last 5 games. 3 of those games she has 4 or more. Today she's projected for 3. So that's about half of what we need. Let's take a look at Kelsey Plum's threes. So she's averaging 3, but then that one game against Phoenix, she went off for 7. That's crazy. In those 5 games, she's averaging 3.2. So that's 6. When you look at the 3-point prop projection for her, she's at 2.65, which is right around 3. You're going to round that up to 3. Looking at the odds on her individual line, ESPN, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Bovada all like the under. But combined, there was some juice to the over on this one. I mean, they're both pretty high volume three shooters, right? In terms of just what they're actually making. I mean, 6 of 7, 4 of 6, 4 of 9, 3 of 8. She's averaging 7. This is Kayla McBride. She's averaging 7 3-point attempts in the last 5 games. Kelsey Plum is averaging 9 3-point attempts in the last 5 games. She just needs to knock these down. I mean, 50% here, 30% here, 30% here. She was 0 for 4 here. And then in this game, she had 3. So 3, that's a little less than 50%. So outside of this one game where she went off for 7, she's basically a 50% shooter from 3. So we have 2 shooters that are roughly 50% from 3. We need 7 threes from them both. That means if they take an average of 8 threes today, each of them, that's 4 each. You would assume 50%, right? We need one of these ladies to go off for like 60%. So if they shoot 9 threes, we need somebody to make like 5. That'll pretty much do it. Then the other player needs to get 2. Something like that. But this one is like teetering on that borderline. It's like right at 6. They need 7. So it'll be a fun one to play if you're going to take the over on this one. If this one opened up at 6.5, I would say play the under on this one just because of what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of push potential here. If this one was at 5.5, oh man, you hammer the over on that one because that's 6. So we know what Kelsey Plum looks like. Let's take a look at Ionescu, and then we'll look at Ionescu and Cloud's assist combo. So Ionescu is coming in averaging 7 threes over her last 5 games. Not making very many, to be honest with you. Today's game, she's projected for just 2. Honestly, I'd stay away from this one. It's a lower line, but you need her to give you 3. She is projected to go over based off odds, though. So on FanDuel, you're getting an over. Bovada really likes the over at 145. If you're playing the odds on her threes, they're showing you that she's in line for threes, for 3 threes made. Man, that's difficult to say. If she gets you 3 and Plum gets you 3, that's 6. That's an over. That's a clear over. So despite what the game logs are showing and the projections, the odds do like the over on this one. If you want to take a shot on this one, then that combo is 0.5 lower, and it's a clear over if they get 6. So that one could be in play. Looking at her assists, we're looking at a combo assist prop between her and Natasha Cloud. It's a 12.5 assist prop. So we need 13. So on this one, we're looking at 5.5 for Ionescu. It splits. Where is that? FanDuel has it at 114 to each side. DraftKings likes the over ESPN Bet likes the over. Fliff really likes this over. Bovada likes the over. So if, again, 6, we need 13. 6, she does her part. Natasha Cloud. Now, Natasha Cloud doesn't even need to hit her assist prop to go over the combo assist prop, because if Ionescu gets you 6, Natasha Cloud can come in at 7, give you a total of 13, and then you're at the over. Damn, I thought I just caught a fly out the sky, out the air, like fucking Mr. Miyagi in this bitch. All right, so 3 out of 5, she's giving you 10 or more. Natasha Cloud, again, needs to give you a minimum of 7. If Ionescu gives you 6, there's your 13. If we get one of these types of games from Natasha Cloud, then lock that over in. That shit is going over, because at that point, Ionescu needs to get you 3 assists. Yeah, that one looks good. I like that over, that combo over. I like that one a lot. Yeah, that one looked good. All right, we're sticking in this game. Let's look at Jonquel Jones rebounds, sitting at 8. Now, at 8.5, this is getting juiced and under. Lucky for us, it's at 8. It's possible this one gets, no, this one got bumped down, because I'm sure at 8.5, people were taking the under. And remember what I said yesterday, that the pick'em sites, their sole job is to keep these plays at 50-50. So anytime a play starts to get more juice to one side, it creates that imbalance, like a seesaw. So when a play is seesawing like that, then the pick'em sites will adjust it to create the balance. So at 8.5, boom, the under was in play. Now at 8, people are, oh, I don't know if I want to take the under on it anymore. So now it's balanced. And that's what you're getting now at 8. Whoops. Now you're getting it at 8. So it doesn't really change much on your game logs, right? Versus Phoenix. But over the last 5 games overall, changes a lot, right? So at 8.5, she's gone over this in just 5 out of those 10 games for a 50% hit rate. But at 8, 71% hit rate, because what these 3 games do is they push, they get removed from the equation. Now this becomes a 7 game log, and that's 5 out of 7 games she's gone over. So that's what 0.5 can do for you. So looking at her projection at 8.39, she's projected for right at 8. That's a push, but we're playing it at 8. So this is a good line to take the over on. There is push potential there, because she's done it in 3 games, but she's also done this. Still no Griner in Phoenix, so front court not as imposing. I'm curious if Griner was in these 2 games, if this is like the Griner effect or not. Doesn't matter, but just curious. Damn, there's a gnat again. All right, this keeps landing on my keyboard. So we talked about, oh shit, we didn't talk about Kevin Pillar. Let's go. MLB, we'll pull up Kevin Pillar. All right, so you definitely don't want to play Kevin Pillar in the same lineup as your Luis Heel fantasy score, because they negatively correlate. But in separate slips, it does make sense. Kevin Pillar, 0.5 hits. He has that's a 10-game hit streak, but have there been 30 games in the MLB this season? There has. I think a few of these are spring training. Let's look at the last 15. 87% hit rate in his last 15 games played this year. Perfect over his last 5, perfect over his last 10. And then his head-to-head numbers against the New York Yankees. He is 1 for 1 this year with 3 hits. So a lot of positive numbers coming in. Projected for 0.65 hits. That's 1 hit. That's a single. 1 total base. Fantasy score, that would be 5 fantasy points for Kevin Pillar. Unless he gets you an extra base hit, he's looking at around 5 fantasy points based off just these projections. If he were to get you a double and get you an RBI, there's your 7 points. Odds on this one in terms of the hits, you like the over on DraftKings, BetMGM, and Caesars. All like the over with only 9 points to the under. Only 9 points in terms of that juice to the under. Everything else is flat. No numbers against Luis Hill, BVP. Nothing to look at there. Against righties, let's see. Kevin Pillar against right-handed pitchers. This year, 4 homers, 9 doubles, and a 295 batting average. His average against lefties is so strong that 295 is in the red. 295 is a damn good batting average over the course of the season. But 371 is way better. So that's the negative out of those two, which is actually not. This is a great line here. His numbers against lefties also really good. Not as much power, but almost as many plate appearances. So pretty even split there. Luis Hill versus right-handed bats, doing a really good job of keeping that power down. We already talked about his fantasy score, right? So there's not a whole lot given up here against righties or lefties so far this season. Those are some very low batting averages, very minimal power. There are some hits here, but unless these hits are driving in runs, then they're just kind of for show. Keeps the ERA down too. So yeah, I would not play Kevin Pillar and Luis Hill in the same lineup. I don't even know if you could, and I don't know if PrizePicks would let you do that. You could. I don't think it. They only nerf your payout when it's too many. If it's like too positive of correlation, like if you try to stack a team for the overs, I think they'll nerf it. But this may not get nerfed. But I just don't think it's the smartest thing to do to put these two guys in the same lineup. Let's say Kevin Pillar goes out there and hits a fucking 3-run home run, and you're like, hell yeah, he got a hit. Luis Hill doesn't probably go over fantasy points at that point. So, that slip is kind of sunk. All right, but we like the over on that one. That one's strong. That's a good find. That's a really good find. All right, so what we looked at in this round, we like the over on Pillar. After looking at these two, I think they're both in play. But because Ionescu individual line is projected to go over, she's projected for 3, and Plum is also projected for 3. This one is giving you a clearer path to the over. You can also look to Ionescu and Cloud for their assist combo prop. If Natasha Cloud goes back to 10 plus assists, this one is a. But ideally, you're looking for roughly 6 and 7. 7 from Cloud, 6 from Ionescu. John Cole Jones being bumped down from 8.5 to 8 made a huge difference in her game log. So she went from a 50% hit rate to a 71% hit rate. She only needs 8 to push. She needs 9 to go over. She's in a much better spot than she was before, now that the line has been bumped down. Vibe says I did a Bonner and Copper combo yesterday, and they both did horrible. Man, fuck them. Missed by that leg. That's the worst. Yeah, Copper had a less than stellar day yesterday. I looked at her final line. I think I was expecting like a higher fantasy line from her. I was a little surprised when I saw that. All right, we'll clear that out. Nothing MLB, nothing. Oh, I guess I don't know what I saw earlier. So Jared Jones just got bumped up to 6.5 from 6. Tariq Skubal remains at 7. This got bumped up. Dane Dunning got bumped up. Paxton got bumped up. Paxton at 3.5 was stupid low. Braxton Garrett at 3.5. Now that I'm looking at these, I don't think those are hot. I think those are just the normal lines, because 3.5. So I think those are just the normal lines. So yeah, people were slamming the over on those. Cutter Crawford at 5. He does need 6 to get this over. Apparently he has no stats this season. What is he, a fucking rookie? Ryan Papois looking at 6.5. I think there was juice to the under on this one. He's coming off 2 terrible games. Boston got him good. New York got him good. Jose Ramirez over hitter fantasy score. Let's take a look at Jose. Damn. Did I get it? Oh, I think I got it. Oh. Got away. Y'all probably think I just live in a fucking garbage can over here. Oh, man. I don't know how these fucking gnats get in there. One time, I do know, I left a tray of chicken, not the chicken, but like the empty tray after I cooked the chicken. I left that in the trash, and usually I take the trash out when I have stuff like that in the bag, because it stinks and I know it attracts gnats. But for this time, I left it in there like for a couple of days. And when I went to take the trash out, I swear like 7 bugs flew out. It was so gross. So that's one way that you can accumulate bugs. Another way is just to leave your windows open all day like I do, so my dog can like neighborhood watch and shit flies in. So, but I think I'm a pretty clean person outside of those habits. All right, let's take a look at Jose Ramirez, 9.5. I almost said rebounds and assists. Jose Ramirez over 9.5 hitter fantasy score. Cleveland and Colorado. So looking at the under on Chris Bryant, we can flip it and look at the over on Jose over here. So when looking at hitter fantasy scores, we're going to look at projections. We're going to look at odds. We'll look at BVP. So the easiest way to kind of construct a hitter fantasy score is by looking at projections. Projections are subjective. They vary from site to site, but we'll just get an idea so we have like a range. Projected for a hit, 3 hits, runs, and RBIs. So a single is 3 points. An RBI, that's 5. A run scored, that's 7. So based off this, that's 7 hitter fantasy points off those projections. Seems a little low for a Coors Field game. So when we look at hits, runs, and RBIs, he is projected for 3 or more at -135. Total bases sitting at under 2.5. If he were to get you 2 total bases, I would think that would be a double versus a game where he got you 2 singles or something like that. So We can change up that hitter fantasy score. So that hit, it's a double. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 fantasy points right there. Projected, not projected, but odds on the home run, plus 360. Those are not bad odds. Home runs are always difficult to nail down in terms of the odds, because you're never going to see the same line for a home run that you do for a total base. Projected for 1 RBI, that adds up. Also projected for, man, looks like a couple of runs. I mean, you could say 1.5 runs on this one, but obviously you can't score half a run. Walks. Jose Ramirez can get after it on the base pass. Like, he's not leading the league in stolen bases in most years, but yeah, he can still second. Like, if he ends up stealing a base, I mean, that's only gonna like boost his number. So like, in the event he stole a base, you're looking at 12 fantasy points right there. But I think if you're taking the over on this one, you really are hopeful for a home run in Coors Field, or you're looking for some extra base hits. Like, a couple singles would probably get it done for you, because that's 6 points plus an RBI, that's 9, plus a run scored, that's 11. But that's like, it's going to take 3-4 at bats. Ideally, you would like a double, RBI double, something like that. RBI double gets you 7, and if he scores a run himself, that's 9. So you're getting closer to that over in fewer at bats. Numbers against Ty Blach, 0 for 3. Now, against this dude, he has no hits, but he also has no strikeouts, meaning that he's putting the ball in play, which is what you want. So his numbers against lefties, this is what you want to see. Now, 250 against righties is not a bad average, especially when you're hitting for that much power. But a 328 batting average is much more appeasing. Fewer at bats, 4 doubles, 5 homers. So the power isn't as present versus lefties, but he's also, you're also looking at 100 fewer at bats. So based off these numbers, 11 singles and 4 doubles with 5 homers that's a pretty strong stat line with a 311 ISO versus left-handed pitching. On the flip side, he is a switch hitting batter. So Ty Blach giving up a lot of production to righties. We're assuming that Jose Ramirez will take swings from that side of the plate. That's a good spot. You typically don't see his hitter fantasy score that high, but games in Coors Field will automatically increase your numbers. So you'll see players like go from a 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI line to a 2.5 hits, runs, and RBI line when they play in Coors Field. The hitter-friendly ballparks will definitely boost the lines a little bit. The books are on top of it way before you are, so they know all about Coors Field. Have we looked at Seager today? We have not. Orbit Image, I'll take the over 6.5 on Nats. You kill. God damn, I hope I don't have fucking 6.5 Nats in my apartment, man. I have a theory on Nats though. I think they're the devil's pet. Because they, at least for me, they try to fly into my eyes. Like, they'll hover around my eyes, like I'll catch it, or like I've had a few just like go right, like fly right into my forehead and like miss my eye. And they say the eyes are the window to the soul. So I was like, these little motherfuckers are trying to take souls and shit, man. Like, they're the devil's pet. So that gives me even like more motivation to smash their ass. Like when I get them, like I fuck them up, man. Problem is they're fast. So, you know, you don't always like, you know, if swatting gnats was like shooting threes, I think I'd be like a 33%, you know, 33%er. They're hard to catch. Seager, we're looking at Seager, and then we're looking at Taurasi's points. All right. What are we looking at for Seager? Fantasy or what? Is it under on Taurasi? Yeah. I thought that was her points, T. I was like, really? You going under 4.5 points? 17. Oh man, that's crazy that she's only hit this in 2 out of these 5 games. I'm sure this has been bumped down, right? I'm sure it was at 17.5. Fantasy. Okay. I got you, vibes. I don't know why I didn't see fantasy. I just read it as, did we look at Seager? He's right there. 10:05. Getting ready to dip out of here after these next few plays. Appreciate y'all stopping by. If you have not hit that like button on your way in, do it now. All right, so we'll break this down the same way we did the previous fantasy scores. We'll look at the projections. We'll try to figure out like a floor, and then we'll kind of mix it up a little bit by looking at some BVP and odds. So today, Seager is projected for hits and 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. So his hit looks like it's going to be I'm assuming a single. Most hits, when you see a player projected for a hit, that's usually a single. Doubles are not easy to come by. So usually when you see a hit projected for a player, it's a single. Doesn't mean that they can't do anything else, but that's just what usually the odds will project it as a single. So there's 3 points right there. There's 2 points right there. So that didn't really help out, right? So a five fantasy point range. Okay. Let's look at some odds here and see if we can construct a stronger line. So he's not projected for 2 hits. So he got our 1 hit. He has been on a fucking tear. The books are like, I don't give a damn. -150 on the under. Total bases. So total bases look like they're going over. So what does that mean? So when we look at this total base prop, you do have 2 books giving you the over. There is a little juice to the under, so it's not super decisive on that. Like there is still a little hesitation on these numbers, but the over is the over. So that's 2 total bases. How is he getting that? Is it a double or is it 2 singles? How has he been getting it? Multiple singles? So probably 2 singles, right? Let's just say that. That's 6 points right there. He scores a run. That's 8 points. Moving on. He's not projected for an RBI. He's been doing a lot. He's been drawing walks. He's been hitting safely. He's been hitting for power. He's been driving in runs. Has he been stealing bases as well? Not too many. All right, so let's go back to his hits. Let's take a look at this matchup with Ryan Nelson. So earlier we talked about the over 3.5 strikeouts for Ryan Nelson has been bumped up to 4. Numbers against right-handed pitching. Seager is at the top with a 290 batting average, 234 ISO, very low strikeout rate, right at that 10 mark, and drawing walks. So if Seager can draw a walk, get 2 singles, that's 8. Score a run, that's 10 points. If Seager can hit a double instead of 2 singles, draw a walk, that's 7. Score a run, that's 9. So he's over fantasy score because he's been doing such a great job at drawing walks versus right-handed pitching. That's in play. Now, it doesn't help you towards total bases, but what it does do is it adds points to a fantasy score, and it puts them in position to score so that a guy like Adolis Garcia or Nathaniel Lowe can come up and drive him in. Points are points. Numbers against right-handed pitching overall. Again, lefty versus righty. Those splits usually favor the batter. 25 singles, 8 homers, and 2 doubles. Numbers against lefties, not as strong. Got a little bit of pop in there, just not as much average going on. On the flip side, you're looking at Ryan Nelson versus lefties, allowing a 288 batting average, 13 singles, 3 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs. Now, his numbers against righties, terrible batting average, 427 batting average, 21 singles, 8 doubles, 3 triples, but no home runs. So he has yet to give up a home run to righties. Good news is Corey Seager's a lefty. He's already allowed 4. So it doesn't really matter which side of the plate you're batting at or batting from. Ryan Nelson has struggled a little bit. So going back and looking at that strikeout prop at 4, 3.5 was definitely the best number to play. 4, and if you got it at 4.5, you took the under at 4.5. After looking at this, does make a lot more sense. So yeah, Seager's in a good spot for the over on his fantasy score. All right, let's look at Diana Tiramisu. This one got bumped up from 16.5, so people were taking the over at 16.5. Is she a good cook or something? What's going on? 2 out of 4 games versus New York. Overs, 2 unders. So her last 10 games, let's go last 5. Last 5, she's only been over twice. Were people really like rushing to take the over on 6.5? Based off what? Based off what? Because DraftKings at 16.5, let's see. At 16.5, ESPN bet like the under. FanDuel like the over, but 108 to the under. So 12-point difference there. Bet Rivers did like the over outright at 132. Unibet 132. Bet MGM. So yeah, you were getting some positive juice to the over at 16.5. Projections do not favor the over at 16.5. And now that it's been bumped up to 17, I mean, I'm not seeing a reason to go and just play the over on this one even at 16.5. It wasn't looking that good to me. But at 17, I mean, if you were on the fence, like, I don't know if I should take the under on her at 16.5. At 17, that's the best line you're going to see. So yeah, that definitely, now she needs 18. Now she needs 18. So if she gets you 28 points, there's nothing you can do about it. That shit was never even close, right? But now she needs 18 points. So she can literally finish with 17. You get a push. I wonder if you can find this at 17.5. I wonder if you can find it at 17.5 on another pick'em site. That would be the best line, because now she can finish with 17 and you still can cash the under. I mean, that's a pretty big range. 17.5, 16.5, and 17. Those are your 3-point props for her. 17.5 is ideally the best line for you to take the under on. All right. I mean, these two plays are from T. So, I mean, if you wanted to run these in a 2-pick, you could. Or if you just wanted to add them to a slip, we just literally broke both of these down. You could go over. Oh, see, that shit got bumped up from 12.5 to 13. You could still take the over on this one, but it was already a little close. Like 12.5 was the best line. Now that it's been bumped up to 13, now you need a little bit more from one of those two. I don't want to risk that at all. Damn. I wish I would have caught that. Or at least I would have put that in a slip sooner. Who was the other fantasy score that we talked about? Ramirez? It was like 17 dudes in the MLB with no, that's over under 25 players in the MLB whose first name is Jose. Over under 25.5. You can run this in a slip. I would take the Poirier out. I kind of want to save that for tomorrow's value. So what we could do is that, because in looking at that combo prop for Ionescu and Plum, this one was, her individual line was grading out the best. And that would be a 5-pick right there. All right. We could add. Actually, I like that one. All right, so just took this. These plays we already talked about and broke down. Over Seager, under Tarasi, over McBride, Plum, over Ramirez, and then over Ionescu. Put that in a 5-pick. You could also add the Poirier in there and you can make it a 6-pick. I'm gonna wait to play the rest of that one for tomorrow. All right. There you go. Renee Howard over 24 points and assists. Someone got bumped down. Projected for 23.7, so she's projected for 24. Numbers against the Mystics. And then her last 10 games, well, last 5 really. 2 out of 5. She's been right there at 23, hooked it in those 2 games. Damn, super consistent. Except for this game, I mean, her shot, her percentage is strong too. Taking a ton of threes. Nice. What's her line? Okay, so her line on her points is at 20.5. And then her assist is at 3.5. So that's 21 plus 4 is 25. So you're already getting a 1 point and assist discount on this one. But her individual point prop at 20.5. Under, over, barely over. So she got you 20 based off just these odds. And then her assist, you're just getting split odds. This is even as hell. $20 points and 4 assists gets you to push. That adds up to the line that we're seeing for her points and assists. So based off this, she needs 21 points and 4 assists, or 20 points and 5 assists. But I think she definitely needs to get you 20 points. If she gets you 15, now she needs to dish out 8 assists, 9 assists. It's something that she's not doing at all. Yeah, she has to get you 20 points. 20 points gets your foot in the door. 5 assists, you can slam the door on that prop. Shohei over under hitter strikeouts. Skeens is this year's Spencer Strider. Anytime I saw a hitter player prop last year and it was against Strider, I was just like, nope, I don't give a damn what the odds say. Nope. Maybe that's superstitious. I don't care. I was like, nope, fuck that. Now, sometimes with those high velocity pitchers, they give up a ton of hard contact, because the exit velocity on that shit is like 500 miles per hour and shit. But usually if you get a hold of one of those 102 mile per hour fastballs, that shit's going a long way. And if anybody's on base, they're coming along with you. So at some point, he'll have to mix it up a little bit. Once batters start getting a hold of that shit, they're going to be hitting it pretty damn far. And I think that's what we saw with Strider last season, is he was giving up some hard contact. And yeah, he was striking out 8 batters, but he was also giving up 4 earned runs. Plus, a human being's arm can only do so much. At some point, you're going to have to mix in some off-speed shit. But boy, for the first 2-3 years of your career, you're gassing people, man. Where is this guy? 3, 11, 7, 3. Are his walks still an issue? Is he pitching the first game? Nah, walks aren't even that much of an issue. It's only, 2, 1, and 1. That's, even if he was averaging 2 walks a game, that's, I wouldn't call that a control issue. 6 hits a game. Yeah, you'd probably want to get that down a little bit. Earned runs are strong. Yeah, just didn't have that good of a game last game. Just 3 strikeouts. Projected for 7 today. FanDuel really likes the over on that one. You want to take the over on FanDuel at 160, but at 7. Now he pushes. He needs 8. He has literally not gotten you 8. It's 11 and 7 are your only 2 marks. 24% whiff rate versus righties. Detroit is striking out a lot. Obviously, BVP will be not there because of this guy's rookie status. How deep is he pitching? 6 innings. So he needs to be basically a 1.1, 1.2 strikeout. He's a 1.3 strikeout per inning guy. So if he goes 6 innings, 1.31 times 6, that's 7.86. You would round that up to 8. So 6 innings is close to 8. If he went 6 1/3, that's probably 8 strikeouts. This is just based off those 2 numbers. Doesn't mean this is how it's going to happen, but you gotta have an idea of how he's going to do it, because you can't just say a pitcher's going to go out there and strike out 9. How? Who's striking out the most versus lefties versus righties? You got to have some of that shit in mind. At least knowing what they're averaging per inning gives you an idea. And then when you factor in the fact Detroit's whiffing at a top 10 rate versus righties, this 6.5 feels way too low. So if you can still find it at 6.5, that's the best line. But even at 7, minus 160 over 6.5 to me doesn't say he's going to get you 7 Ks. It's saying he's going to get you over 7 Ks. So that's a huge number right there, which is why I got bumped up to 7. Yeah, you could take the over on that one at 7. There are a lot of things going in the right direction on that prop. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's live stream. What did we cover? About 3 rounds, maybe ish. 3 rounds of player props today. Not a ton of value on the board. I I think we found enough player props to build out a few slips. We did build out a slip. I'll share it in the Discord, a little 5-pick. But we should have enough plays to build out a few slips on PrizePicks. And again, days like this, it really does benefit you to have more than one pick'em site to play on, because if you're only depending on PrizePicks, then you're missing out on a lot of plays. You want to leverage those lines on days like this where you're kind of just down to one sport. WNBA and MLB don't have a lot of golf going on today. Esports right now is not popping today. So it's really just down to these two sports. Tomorrow will be a little bit better with the lone NBA game. But get used to that shit, because once the finals start, you're getting basically one game every other day, I think. It's not that much basketball. So we're almost completely done with the NBA season, and then we'll be forced to give a shit about WNBA a little bit more. So enjoy it while you can. Hit the like button on your way out. Sub up to the channel if you have not done so. Also click the notification icon so you don't miss out on next live stream, which is Friday morning, 8:50 a.m. We'll be live talking player props here on the channel. Appreciate all y'all for stopping by and just chilling out with me, talking some props. Hope all of your player props respect the damn coin. And until Friday's live stream, Chavez is out.